So our lead this hour comes from Jacksonville, the makeshift home of the Saints. Booted out of New Orleans. We know the story. Maybe you don't. The Hurricane Ida a couple weeks back, and so that displaced the Saints, and they had a honky-tonk of a good time and pantsing the Packers in the big game on Fox, much to the dismay of Joe Buck and Troy Aikman, who were left calling a blowout, a rout or root, depending on where you grew up. So if you didn't watch it, maybe not. It was all about famous Jameis. Jameis Winston had not one, not two, not three, not four, 5 passing touchdowns as New Orleans started life without Drew Brees by absolutely humiliating one of the other top contenders in the NFC, at least going into the season, Green Bay, 38-3. This was a boat race situation. The Saints came out of the gates, took the lead, and never looked back. But the better story is in the losing locker room, as it often is. The reigning MVP, Aaron Rodgers, was shell-shocked. The Packer offense was left twisted into pretzels. Now, they were destroyed, completely gobsmacked by the New Orleans Saints defense. So let us discuss. Would this performance by Aaron Rodgers be considered an indictment of Aaron Rodgers' offseason shenanigans? And I am nodding my head yes. Now, my take, you've got the Boy Scout motto, Hobby Lobby, and Smooth Operator. And we'll combine all of these things together, and those will be the foundational pieces of this Maller monologue. To kick off, Aaron Rodgers was the story of the offseason in the NFL. He was. We talked about it endlessly, right? Show after show, the obligatory Aaron Rodgers monologue. And somebody close to Aaron Rodgers says he doesn't want to play in Green Bay anymore. He's not going to report to training camp and this, that, and the other thing. It was right out of Days of Our Lives, the soap opera. And it was playing out on the radio dial for months at a time. And he was the gypsy. He was wandering around. It was not where's Waldo, it's where's Aaron Rodgers. All kinds of exotic locations, living the life of Riley, living out of a suitcase, flirting with retirement, avoiding off-season practices like they were the bubonic plague, at loggerheads with the Green Bay Packer front office. Occasionally he'd pop up and do an interview on a television show or a radio show, but then he'd disappear for a while. Did celebrity golf. Did that Fugazi thing with Tom Brady, the old celebrity golf thing. He let it be known through surrogates that he was open to a trade and didn't know whether he'd play at all. There was talk of retirement. But one thing we can guarantee, based on that opening act by Aaron Rodgers, he failed the Boy Scout motto. The Boy Scouts motto is be prepared. He was not prepared. He was flummoxed. Obviously not ready to play. The savvy veteran. And Jameis Winston, famous Jameis, throws 5 touchdowns, and you're horrifically bad from start to finish. You never had one good moment the entire day. Aaron Rodgers unable to orchestrate the Packer offense into the end zone. In fact, it was so bad. How bad was it? You look at some of the numbers in this particular game, and you're like, holy crap, were they that? That's the Green Bay Packers? You're telling me the Green Bay Packers offense did that? That's it? They had 229 total yards? Unbelievable. Well, they did. The red zone opportunities, few and far between for the Green Bay Packers on offense in this particular day. That was an emasculating performance is what it was. Now, looking upon it even further, digging a little deeper, Aaron Rodgers performed like a guy who wasn't taking his job seriously. Now, that doesn't mean that a week from now or 2 weeks from now he's going to be better, but it's this game. We are judging Aaron Rodgers based on his body of work. This game was horrific. What happened to that whole last dance nonsense that Rodgers was one more run here, Rodgers teaming up with his star receiver. They're going to lead the Green Bay Packers and do all this. Rodgers looked like the NFL as a job was like a trip to Hobby Lobby. It was a recreational activity. It was a pastime. Now, I'm not being dramatic here. Aaron Rodgers served up historical crapola. It's not my opinion. It's a fact. Now, what's my evidence? Let's go to the stats. Aaron Rodgers. We had 7, 8 different teams who would love to get Aaron Rodgers. All these teams lining up. Aaron Rodgers had a 36.8 passer rating against New Orleans. That is the lowest passer rating in history by a reigning NFL MVP in their first game the following season. It had never been that bad. That smell, you smell that? Oh, cover your nose. Never before had an MVP stunk up the joint. Forget rotten eggs. That's like new level. Now, of course, to my knowledge, Aaron Rodgers is also the first ever MVP to have a hissy fit and not work on his craft during the offseason after winning the MVP. Like, I know other players have changed teams and there have been some crazy things that have happened, but that Aaron Rodgers act was next level. So in that regard, it's fitting that he would reach that new level of stinkage. And keep in mind that if Aaron Rodgers had taken every single snap, drop back, take the snap from the center, take a couple steps back, drop back, and throw the ball into the ground on every single play, he would have had a higher passer rating. A quarterback that takes every snap, drops back, throws the ball on the ground, every play, passer rating 39.6. Aaron Rodgers, 36.8. Aaron Rodgers, 36.8. All right, last thing here. So the Packers, the good news is they can exhale. Right? They played like dog crap, but because they play in the right division, how big a deal is it? Even if they continue to be a meandering team and have the same toughness as cheese fondue, is it going to matter? The NFC North is filled not with a bunch of fighter jets. They're filled with paper airplanes. The NFC North, the Lions, the Vikings, the Bears, all a bunch of lightweights. All a bunch of lightweights. You don't have to be a mathematician to know it's not going to take that many wins to be on top in this division. Now, the question is, how long does Aaron Rodgers need to crank up the engine? Is he all of a sudden old, right? Anytime a quarterback who's at Aaron Rodgers' age has a game like that, you say, is that the end? And everyone's, oh, no. Everyone's like, oh, no. It's like Tom Brady and these guys are playing forever. Well, at some point, most quarterbacks don't continue to dominate in their mid-40s. Was this just an isolated one-off or a harbinger of things to come? Now, if you gave me $1,000 of funny money, I'm betting that next week, when Green Bay gets back on the saddle again against Jared Goff and the Lions suck Lions, next Monday night at Lambeau Field, that will be just what the doctor ordered. That is a spoonful of sugar going against that Detroit defense. Now, meanwhile, as bad as Aaron Rodgers was, on the flip side, got to be Benny Brightside. Jameis Winston. That was masterpiece theater by famous James. Now, his reputation precedes him as a highly volatile stock at quarterback. He's not a game... he's not a, what's the word I'm looking for here? He's not a guy that's going to be disciplined and run the offense and not make mistakes. He's all over the place. He's helter-skelter. He was a smooth operator. Right? Sean Payton's game plan worked to perfection. Right? We thought going in this is what the Saints were going to do with Winston, and they did it, and it worked really, really good. Was that because the Packers were sleepwalking, or is this the recipe? Is this the formula that the Saints are going to be able to play week after week? New Orleans was a running team behind Alvin Kamara and friends, and sporadically mixed in the passing game. Selectively. In fact, Jameis Winston only had 148 yards passing, but 5 touchdowns. Fewest yards passing for a quarterback ever to have 5 touchdowns. And his overall passing numbers are like, okay, they're good, but he only attempted 20 passes, but that's all he had to attempt. The 5 touchdowns are sexy, And even more impressive, though, error-free football. Error-free. If you could bottle this and give you that performance every week, if you can get that from Winston, he gets a game ball, obviously, but he was not sacked, didn't turn the ball over. He played a clean game from beginning to end. And he ends up beating the MVP, outplaying Aaron Rodgers. And I go back to the stat that I bring up quite a bit. I'm going to bring it up all football seasons. So get used to it. Bad plays. Interceptions, incompletions, sacks, and fumbles. Bad plays. Jameis Winston only had 6 negative plays. That's it. They were all the incompletions. He didn't have an interception, didn't have a fumble, wasn't sacked, had a clean game. The offensive line did their job. He didn't throw that much. So that's it. Aaron Rodgers had 16 bad plays. So that's a plus 10 in favor of New Orleans. Advantage goes to the Saints, and they win the game in a rout. Now, here's Aaron Rodgers, who says, among other things here, that the Green Bay Packers as a team got a kick on the backside.
This is a good kick in the you-know-where. Hopefully get us going in the right direction, going back home and playing division opponent next week.
Yeah. Okay. Rodgers, quick and right to the point. Here's more from Aaron Rodgers, who's about to tell you the time-tested cliche. Anytime you lose the first game of the season, you know what's going to be said in the locker room after the game. Aaron Rodgers did not disappoint.
It's just one game. You know, we played bad. I played bad. Offensively, we didn't execute very well. One game. We got 16 to go.
That's true. Well, last year you had to say we have 15 to go, but now you can say 16. And a couple years from now, you'll say we have 17 to go because they're going to eventually play 18 games. Anyway, Matt LaFleur, the head coach of the Green Bay Packers, not for long if the Packers play like that much longer, but here's Matt LaFleur pointing out how humiliating that afternoon was.
Absolutely embarrassed us today, and can't do that against a well-coached and quality football team. Our guys are going to have to take a long, hard look in the mirror. It starts with myself. Obviously, didn't get these guys ready to play ball, and that's what happens when you go out there and play like that against a good football team.
Well, the good news is you'll play a poorly coached, bad football team, the Lions, next week. So you can play like that and beat the Lions because that's what happens. They're the Lions.